just gonna go ahead and kill it.
Right here and then in Francis. If the community would gather round, today is a very important day in San Francisco. I want to wish you all good morning and thank you all for joining us today in City Hall. I'm Roberta Achtenberg and I'm a former San Francisco County Supervisor and HUD Assistant Secretary. And currently I serve on the United States Commission on Civil Rights. And I want to proclaim today a very proud day in San Francisco for civil and equal rights and economic opportunity. We're here this morning to announce that Lennar Corporation and its partners in the Hunters Point Shipyard Candlestick Point development are delivering a check for $7.2 million to the San Francisco Foundation This check will be delivered to the San Francisco Foundation, who will hold it on behalf of the community of the Bayview, Hunters Point, and all of District 10. This money is for community benefits, specifically job training and affordable housing, and will benefit the entire community of the Bayview, Hunters Point, and all of District 10. We have a few very instrumental people who will make brief remarks. And I'd like to begin first with the president of Lennar Urban, which is the managing partner of the group developing the Bayview Hunters Point Candlestick Point project, Mr. Kofi Bonner. Mr. Bonner is not only the president of Lennar Urban, but he is a nationally recognized urban planner and redevelopment expert, and we are very, very lucky to have him as the manager of this entire project. Mr. Bonner.
Thank you very much. $7.2 million gets a lot of nice things said about you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. First, let me take this opportunity to welcome everybody and thank you all for coming. And I specifically would like to say publicly to Mayor Lee, I want to thank you for all the support, leadership, and guidance on this project. I'd like to thank Supervisor Cohen. I see he's just arrived. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do for this project. Thank you for your leadership. Well deserved. Thank you for your leadership, your guidance and support on this project. I believe Supervisor Maxwell may not be here, but I would like to say she was always in the trenches with us and was incredibly important to this process. And there are several supervisors who may or may not be here who were really supportive during this rather lengthy process. San Francisco, we have a blood sport here called the entitlement process. And it is always great to have supporters who are also decision makers. And there are many who are currently on the board who were supportive, and I believe some who are new on the board who are supportive. But most of all, I really would like to thank this intensely committed community. And you see several of the members here. And this is just but a small portion, a small representative of the community that supported us. I will tell you that but for this community and their commitment, Lennar would probably have left this city, but they in many, 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 many evenings supported us, and they gave us the strength and the spirit to go forward. And I just personally would like to thank you all on behalf of the partnership. So one of the things that happens when you have to go to about 500 community meetings is around the 455th meeting, you actually begin to hear what the community is telling you. And that may be a testament to my deafness or something, but I will tell you that we heard a couple of things loud and clear through those community meetings. One, the community said, look, these have been very bad economic times over the last 6 years, and I don't need to tell anybody that. But the community said very clearly, we want to make sure that there is additional funding to support our work in getting retrained and readmitted back into the workforce, to take advantage of some of the new work opportunities that either exist in the city at that time or will exist because of our project. And we said, absolutely, we hear you. One of the other things we heard is, look, over the years, there's been a steady out-migration of young families from District 10. We would like to get a funding mechanism to help and encourage and support these young families to stay in the community. So as this community grows, we have the ability to encourage them and perhaps assist them to stay in the community. And we said, we heard you. So certainly on behalf of my organization and the partnership that we represent, I am just simply delighted to be standing here with the ability to provide a $7.2 million check that will assist in those specific endeavors. And I will say that I am really, really pleased that the implementation committee that is ultimately representing this community for these particular efforts has picked the San Francisco Foundation to be their fiscal agent. As many of you know, the San Francisco Foundation is a venerable and astute organization in this community for many, many years, and is exactly the kind of entity I believe can assist us all in providing the programming, the guidance, and the counseling to ensure that these funds are used exactly in the manner we would like them to see them used. So again, on behalf of Lennar and the partnership, on behalf of Cheryl and others from my staff that I can't see around, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank the CAC. I want to thank members of the CAC. I want to thank members of 8010. So good to see you, Reverend Walker. So many people here that we spent many, 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 many nights and evenings working together to make this day a reality. And we just love the fact that we're a developer in District 10, and we just love the fact that we're beginning to work together so that we will all share this vision of a spectacular Bayview over the next 15 to 20 years and onwards. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Mayor Lee a very staunch advocate for civil rights in his own right, and a great promoter of jobs in this city and for economic revitalization and economic justice. Mayor Edwin Lee.
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, when Kofi turned back a second ago and mentioned, our cooperation, let me tell you, it means a lot because we're at a stage now where we're fulfilling a very old promise, one that you've all been a part of. And if you've listened carefully to literally every speech I've made, I've been very careful not to create new promises when we have a long list of old promises yet to be fulfilled in this city. And now we're beginning to do that. We're beginning to put money and resources behind it so that all of you who have worked so many years on our advisory committee and our implementation committee and our voluntary committees and trying to think of positive stories to tell to advise people about this is a city for all of us. Believe it, and not just promises. Well, we're starting to fulfill those promises. And it feels great. It feels great to do that because I see this $7 million. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's part of a larger promise that I think somewhere in around 35, if not more. Yeah, 30. It's 30 million. Kofi, I was always going to try to increase it. You know that. But it is part of what Kofi described earlier and Roberta has, and I get to be a part of, a promise to our communities that they will incur the richness of our city. They will be part of its planning as we've done. Now they're part of the rebuilding, and they're part of employment opportunities and educational opportunities. It all is here right in front of us. And so I wanted to say very simply that not only is it part of old promises, but, around us in the state and the federal, there's so much disagreement. There is so much going on that is pulling our attention away and making us really negative in what we see the future to be. I'm all about building on those old promises and making sure people believe in us as we take on the reins of leadership in the city. We mean what we say about fulfilling these promises. We want our African-American community to thrive in San Francisco. We want to make sure we turn around that corner away from the out-migration. And so with this foundation, with our adherence to all of the thousands of hours, and by the way, when Kofi and I look at each other and we smile, there's still battles we're right in the middle of. Every time we get a call from somebody in the governor's office, we're on the phone with each other because, doggone it, they still don't understand and they still have to be educated. And despite their elimination of redevelopment, we're there with money and checks and resources. We will do it. We will do it here. And there's no secret how we do it. We do it with the residents of Bayview, Hunters Point, residents of our southeast sector, believing that as a city we can fulfill that promise. We also do it with labor. We do it with our churches and our religious leaders. We do it with activists in the community. We do it with ACE and the organizing projects that have been faithful to working with the community to make sure and remind us what our obligations are. And we do it with the San Francisco Foundation because they know that these promises are at the heart of everything we believe of why we are still here in our city. So whether I'm a civil rights activist, a lawyer, a DPW director, or a mayor, I ain't going anywhere until this is fulfilled. All right? This is what we wanted to be in. This is why we're here, and this is just the beginning because every time that we can fulfill all right, we're here with all this excitement, and we're going to make sure everybody's okay.